Me, Agent Dave, aka Fanatical for Jesus. I'm coming to you right now. I want to make a video about a topic that it's pretty controversial, including in recent years with all the mass shootings and everything. I want to talk about gun violence and mental illness. Specifically, is mental illness the cause of gun violence or whatever? Because a lot of people, that's like their default when they hear about a mass shooting or something, they automatically jump to the conclusion that the person is out of their mind or the person is mentally ill or whatever. And even I myself has been guilty. I have been guilty of when I hear about a mass shooting, I'll say, "Oh man, that person must be crazy," or whatever. But I'm using the term very, very loosely. I'm not saying they're mentally ill or anything like that. I'm using the word very loosely. However, there are still people out there who, when they say that, they really do mean that person is mentally ill. So, this is the video. This video is mainly directed towards those people. And I went ahead before I decided to make this video. I wanted to talk. I went on Google and I found an article by shoot. I can't remember what the article is called now. Damn it. Oh man, I can't remember it now. I can find it again, and I'll post the link in the description below so you guys can check it out for yourself. Now, I understand that this specific article tends to really be a liberal news publication. However, they did do a very good like story, or not story. They did a very good article talking about mental illness and gun violence. And I want to read a quote from this guy. He's a professor of psychiatry at Duke University. His name is Jeffrey Swanson. He said, "We have a strong responsibility." Hold on. We have a strong responsibility as researchers who study mental illness to try to debunk that myth, the myth that people that commit mass shootings are mentally ill. I say as loudly and as strongly and as frequently as I can that mental illness is not a very big part of the problem of gun violence in the U.S. And they also had some statistics. They very interesting, by the way. Okay, all right, hold on. They did a study, and it came out, and they said that only 4% of all violence, not just gun violence, but all violence included, in the U.S. is attributable to schizophrenia, bipolar, or depression, the three main disorders that people are diagnosed with here in America. So, in other words, 96% of all violence in America has absolutely nothing to do with mental illness. So, when people talk about, oh, that person's mentally ill or whatever, they don't know what they're talking about, because most of the people that perform these violent acts are in perfectly sound mind. So, to say that they're crazy or that they're mentally ill or whatever is just like stupid. It's ignorant to say that. And here's the danger in saying that. It's stigmatizing people that have mental illness as um pretty much. Here's the problem with that stigma. People with mental illness most of the time don't want to admit that they have a mental illness, and when they do finally come to the point where they're like, okay, maybe I do need help, they're afraid to go get help because they're afraid that as soon as they come out and openly say that they have that they have something wrong, that they have a mental illness, people are automatically gonna be afraid of them and think that they're gonna perform some kind of mass shooting or some kind of act of violence in public, and people are gonna get hurt or possibly die. So then that keeps them from wanting to get the help that they need, which is absolutely wrong. Like, most people with bipolar, schizophrenia, and depression, most of them are more of a danger to themselves than they are to anybody else. Um, so yeah, that's my problem, like with kind of stigmatizing people's mental illness and everything. Like I think that's fundamentally wrong. People shouldn't be doing that. And that's why I also like I don't know. I don't like labels. I really don't. That's why like I had this discussion with a friend of mine like the other day and a couple of weeks ago also about labeling people normal and not normal. Like I understand that he was saying when he says people are not normal, he's talking about their behavior is not normal. But here's a problem that I have with just blatantly saying this person is not normal. Most people, when they hear not normal, they automatically think that something's wrong with them, like mentally or whatever. So when you say this person is not normal without giving a qualifier as to what you mean by not normal, then that's what stigmatizes people and that's what separates people and creates animosity between different groups. Like, and like, I mean, it's the same thing. Like, if I tell people I'm a Christian, a lot of people already have in their mind what they think a Christian is, so then they come up with their own assumptions about what I'm about, which is wrong. Now, if I want them to actually know what I'm about and everything, I'll give a qualifier as to what it means to be a Christian, and then they have a better understanding. Like, I'm not just gonna let them sit there and have their own assumptions. And I think like that's a better way to go about things than just saying, "Oh, that person's not normal," because now you're putting a label on them, and now people are gonna think they're like mentally ill or mentally unstable, and then after that they're gonna have their own like wild and crazy speculations, and that's why I don't really like saying that. Um, yeah, I think it's just like all this gun violence and everything that's been going on. I think it's getting really, really out of control. Which leads me to talk about this whole Black Lives Matter movement. Now, at first, I didn't really want to make a video talking about quote unquote Black Lives Matter because I really don't want to give this group any more undeserved attention than it has already been getting. Like, but I'll just make some brief comments on it real quick. Like, I understand that when this whole Black Lives Matter movement started, it started with good intentions. Like, I get that. It started in the wake of, like, things happening, like Trayvon Martin getting shot, his murderer getting away with it. That Kenan Ferguson getting shot and his murderer getting away with it. And other cases like that. I get that. They're just outraged that the justice system didn't do their job and bring justice on the murderers, but just let them free. I get that. And I get that they even want to protest. I understand that. But I think this movement has gone so big, and people, like, this just shows us how angry people are. And there's a civil unrest in this country. Like, I understand that. And people are mad at the government, people are mad at the justice system, people are just mad in general. And I think these people in this Black Lives Matter movement, this is the prime example of what happens when someone has uncontrolled anger. When you get a group of people in an area and they have uncontrolled anger and rage, they're going to do things like shoot police officers, blow up cars, shit like that. And it's wrong. It needs to stop. Like, and I mean, like, all lives matter. Black lives matter. Asian lives matter. Hispanic lives matter. Like, hell, even white lives matter. Like, I think that we all need to calm down. And I think there needs to be a re education process. Like, people need to be taught that life matters. That's where it fundamentally starts. Life matters. And if you're not teaching people that life matters, then of course they're not gonna care if they go out there and blow up cars and kill police officers and kill innocent black kids and stuff like that because they're not taught that life matters. So I think we need to do that. We need to go back to the basics and teach them that life does matter. That's what it called. And what's ironic about this whole Black Lives Matter thing is I see them out there protesting against police officers and stuff like that. But why don't they protest against Planned Parenthood? I mean, Planned Parenthood has been guilty of killing more black babies than the Ku Klux Klan ever killed African Americans their whole entire existence. The whole time that KKK has ever been alive, they have not killed nearly as many African Americans than the Planned Parenthood has. And Planned Parenthood has a very racist history from the time of Margaret Sanger and the whole eugenics movement. And if you don't believe me, I suggest you check out this documentary. It's actually on YouTube. You can watch the whole thing for free. It's called Maafa 21. Maafa and then 21. Check it out. It's a very well documented documentary, and it's very insightful into the history of Planned Parenthood. But yeah, okay. And like I understand that the new Black Panther Party is behind this whole Black Lives Matter thing, which I have no respect for the new Black Panther Party. I think they're complete garbage. They have absolutely nothing to do with the original Black Panthers, which was actually a good organization. Yeah, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for that, but those of you who say the original Black Panther Party were bad, you're completely ignorant about the original Black Panther Party. Like, they actually did a lot of good for their community. So, yeah. Anyway, I mean, those are the very same. The people that are against the original Black Panthers are the same people that are against Malcolm X, which Malcolm X was actually way better than Martin Luther King Jr. because all Malcolm X did was advocate for self-defense. Like, that's it. He didn't advocate violence. He advocated self-defense. He said if they can if they can beat you, then you should be able to hit them back. That's all he advocated. But yeah, that's a whole nother discussion for a whole nother time. Back to gun violence and mental illness. Like, I don't know. I think this is just like something that's gotten way out of control. I'm tired of hearing people automatically make the assumption that just because someone went and shot up a movie theater or a nightclub or something, shot up some cops, that there was obviously something wrong with them mentally. Like, no, they were completely of sound mind. That's why I'm against these background checks for people that want to own a gun. First off, these background checks are just inconveniencing law-abiding citizens. It's not doing anything to criminals, and also there's people want to say, oh well, it's going to keep people that are mentally ill from getting guns. Okay, again, most people that have a serious mental illness are more of a danger to themselves than they are to anybody else. So the people that are getting these guns so they can go shoot up movie theaters and shit like that, most of them are of sound mind. They know exactly what they're doing, and they plan this shit out. Like, they plan this shit out themselves. That shows that they're not insane or whatever. Like, I don't really like using that word insane, but they're not mentally ill. Like, so yeah. So please just stop saying, just next time you see a mass shooting on the news, which I guarantee you will, because it seems like there's been a lot going on. Like, there's been more mass shootings under the Obama administration than anybody else any other president in the history of America. So I'm pretty sure you'll see one again. But when you do, please do not jump to the automatic conclusion that the guy or the woman that did it is mentally ill. Just keep in mind, no, this person was of sound mind. They knew exactly what they were doing, and they did it anyways. That's just evidence that humanity is sinfully depraved. And every now and then, God will lift up his finger off of the depravity of mankind just to give us a glimpse at how evil humanity can really be. The only reason why all humans are not as evil to the extent that they can be is because God's hand of grace is restraining the evil. But like I said, every now and then in history, he'll lift up one finger off of someone or a couple people or whatever to show us what is actually in each and every one of our hearts. So, And instead of condemning these people that do this, start talking shit about them and stuff, keep in mind that that could also be you. Because we're all pretty much that evil. So we should pray for those people that commit these violent, heinous acts. Pray for their salvation, pray for their repentance, and love them. Because that's what Jesus told us to do. We're supposed to love our enemies and love those who persecute us and love those who hate us, essentially. So, next time you see a mass shooting, remember to pray for that person that did the shooting. Alright, that's all I have to say for now. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment below. And as always, don't forget to rate and subscribe because you know you love looking at my sexy ass face. Check this out. You love the Asian sensation. Alright, have a good night. God bless and deuces.